As we enter our third year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issue Survey finds that for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks. The city looks.
Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Moon la la. Yeah, yo. Bitch better have my money. Y'all should know me well enough. Bitch better have my money. Please don't call me on my blood. Pay me what you want it. Ballin' bigger than LeBron. Bitch, give me your money. Who y'all think y'all frontin' on? Like blah, blah, blah. Louis 13 and it's all on me. Nigga, you just bought a shot. Kamikaze if you think that you gon' knock me off the top. Your wife in the backseat of my brand new foreign car. Don't act like you forgot. I called a shot.
KBLA
Like blah, blah, blah.
Talk 1580.
Pay me what you
Yep,
want it.
yep. We on strike.
Like you forgot.
I'm Dominique DePrima, and I am pleased to welcome in today for the first half of the final hour of the show, a creator, writer, and producer of Califia and the Timeless Sentries, owner of Underwood Multimedia Associates Worldwide LLC. He's also the host of a show called Black in the Greenroom that comes on KBLA Saturday nights at 9. They profile and celebrate Black entertainers, creators, and showbiz executives. Keith Underwood, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I hope you liked your walk-on music. A little Rihanna.
Wait a minute.
A little
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
You better have my money. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, really that's the common theme that's going on, not just in entertainment, but whether it's people organizing Amazon or trying to organize at Starbucks and UPS and the hotel workers. But this is the first time in a very long time that writers and actors have both walked, right?
Yes, since 1960. And full disclosure, I also am an inclusion and equity coordinator at the Writers Guild of America.
I should know that. So the first time both unions have gone on strike since 1960.
That's correct.
How big of a deal is that?
It's a huge deal. I mean, it speaks volumes to the fact of, what the producers and the streamers are making versus what actors and writers are making, and for them to come together in solidarity to fight with the issues that we're facing, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, and I've been really bothered by the comments of Bob Iger and Barry Diller to a lesser extent, and the unattributed comments that were published in Deadline about, waiting until the writers and actors lose their homes and bleed out and come crawling back. Because 1960 is a while ago. So it's not like we're striking every 10 minutes and petulantly making demands. I mean, I think actors and writers, for the most part, have been very measured in terms of working with the studios and trying to, just compromise.
Yeah, well, the truth of the matter is, most of these big streamers are tech companies, and so they consider themselves to be new to the game. And so they don't understand the issues that writers and actors face in real time. What they're more concentrated on is the bottom line.
That's an interesting perspective. So a Netflix or an Amazon Prime or whatever, they're not coming from that long legacy of working with and understanding the showbiz space. But I've been hearing a lot of analysts saying they'll benefit from the strike because they produce a lot of their stuff overseas, where they're working with non-union writers and actors, and where they have more stuff stockpiled as opposed to the mainstream, kind of traditional studios that go with a fall lineup on television and the like. Do you think that's true?
Well, the good thing is that there are film and television labor unions all over the world, and they have joined with us in solidarity. So though they may have, some programming that's in the can already, that's not going to help them, coming into the future.
Oh, that's interesting. And you feel like that solidarity with some of these unions, which may not even have the same kinds of protections that we have, is going to hold?
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not widely reported, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Because the reporting that I'm hearing and reading, it makes it seem like Netflix is untouchable.
I would disagree. What I can say is that we had a rally in solidarity, I think a month or two ago, with our sister unions across the world. And, we'll see. Hopefully, the Alliance of Producers will come to us with an agreement that's acceptable. I mean, in the larger scheme, we're not asking for a lot. They're making into the multi-billions. We're only asking for a fraction, of that. Our original proposal was for $429 million a year, and the offer that they made to us was $86 million. So you can see that there's a huge difference there.
Yeah.
So hopefully they will open their eyes and understand the importance of writers and actors to the process.
I mean, and $429 million sounds like a lot, but you're talking about over all of these television shows and movies, all of these writers. And I think, to me, it puts it in perspective when you think about Bob Iger, who with his bonuses earned almost $46 million last year. That's 10% of the deal right there.
Exactly.
For one man.
Some of his pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one
Right.
man. I mean, $429 million. Hey, that is actually, his pay is actually more than 10% of what writers were asking for. That puts things in perspective.
Exactly. And then you multiply that, by all the other execs.
Yeah. Who are, by the way, while they're telling actors and writers that they're being unrealistic, are not. I mean, Diller said he was willing to take a 25% pay cut. He's already worth $1 billion. We'll take that with a grain of salt. But he also was asking the top tier actors to take a pay cut. How realistic is that proposal?
Well, I think it's very unrealistic. Actors are not paying other actors and writers. The streamers are.
Yeah, well, they're the ones that own the product, right? That own the content, so they're supposed to pay for it.
Absolutely, 100%. And to ask, higher paid actors to take a pay cut as well, I think that's very unrealistic.
Yeah, I don't hear Iger telling him he's being unrealistic, though. I haven't heard that yet.
Exactly.
Why do you think the studio executives are taking such a hard line? I feel like their talking points I don't know that it's working for them. It's giving Marie Antoinette to me, let them eat cake. But why do you think they're taking such a hard line right now? And I hear it, on all of these news outlets, the streamers, and some of these anchors and such, I guess their writers in earnest are saying that streamers, it's a tough time for streamers. It's a tough time for the industry because of the pandemic, that they're cutting back and doing layoffs. All the tech companies are, but that doesn't mean they're not making massive profits. Why do you think they're taking such a hard line?
I think they're afraid that if they have concern that if they give in to one of the unions, that they're going to have to give in to all of them. And then now, we're in solidarity. So now, honestly, Dominique, I just think that it's just, ignorance and ego at this point, because it makes no sense that they won't come to the table with a decent offer.
Yeah, I mean, and it is interesting. The other subtle thing that I've noticed, maybe not so subtle, is the way the directors are being held up as, the good minority, the model minority in this case. Like, well, the directors made a decent deal and they were nice and not unrealistic. Talk about that in terms of the hierarchy of pay and power in Hollywood.
Right. Well, disproportionately, well, I shouldn't say disproportionately. That's not fair, because I do know some directors who are in a similar position.
Right.
But when you're speaking about the larger directors, they're making mass fortunes from one, from one film, and they also have profit sharing. Insurance is included in their deals, and they're also directors in their agreement. They're not allowed to strike. So they have to come to some type of agreement. Although I must say that there have been several members of the Directors Guild that have shown their solidarity with the Writers Guild.
By showing up on the picket lines?
Correct.
Interesting.
The rallies also.
All right, we're talking with Keith Underwood. His show is called Black in the Greenroom, and you can listen to it Saturdays at 9 p.m. And when we come forward, I want you to talk about what the ripple effects of this are, and what we, the consumers, sympathetic progressives, can do to improve this situation. Because I think all of us would really like to see it resolved, not see writers and actors bleed out, but see it resolved so we can all get back to work making great shows that we all want to watch. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
The $5 Cravings Box is back at Taco Bell, and it's the real thing. We're talking a Chalupa Supreme, a cheesy, beefy 5-layer burrito, a crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink, all for just $5. That's a lot of food for not a lot of dollars. In other words, a wise business deal, like greeting clients with a firm handshake and a delicious 3-course meal. That's only $5. Order your $5 Cravings Box on the Taco Bell app today. At limited participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Price excludes tax.
Attention boss ladies. It's time to refresh, restore, and renew. Announcing the Restored Leadership Brunch and Wellness Summit, Saturday, July 22nd at Levels in downtown Los Angeles. Enjoy delicious brunch and refreshing mimosas while networking with other boss ladies. Meet representatives from Nike, Puma, and the Los Angeles Lakers. And prepare to unlock your inner CEO with the amazing Dr. Karen, founder of the MK Circle CEO Institute. Sis, it's hard to prioritize yourself. That's why the Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation created the Restored Leadership Brunch and Wellness Summit. Connect, discover, refuel, and realign. Save your seat now at restoredevents.com. This is an exclusive event and seats will fill up fast. That's Saturday, July 22nd at 12 noon at Levels Downtown, located at 888 South Olive Street. Register now at restoredevents.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And appreciate you joining me this morning. My colleague Keith Underwood, Black in the Greenroom is his show, Saturdays at 9 p.m. Also an experienced writer, producer, and entertainment mogul in his own right. So talk to me about the impacts of this. It really could drag on for a long time, especially if the producers don't have that come to Jesus moment where they say, why are we acting like Scrooge? Let's have that, let's come to the table in good faith and resolve this. Talk to me about the long, term impacts, best case scenario, worst case scenario.
Yeah, without going into too many details because of confidentiality, what I can say is that, one of the cusp of our economy, especially here in Los Angeles and on the wider scale, California, is the film and television industry. And I think in the last strike cost us about $772 million of lost wages for writers and production workers. So those are not just the writers and the actors, but then also your grips, your crew, your makeup artists, wardrobe people. And, this one could take us well into over $1 billion of lost money, for our economy. So that's one major one. So then you have to really think about the greed, of the streamers and what they're willing to sacrifice, for their own gain. The other ramifications of the strike are, all of your favorite programs that you love watching, even down to your nighttime talk shows, some of your daytime talk shows. Those are all dependent on writers. And then much of your scripted programming is dependent on writers and actors. So those shows will go on hiatus until after they've run out of programming. Those shows will go on hiatus until a resolution is reached.
Yeah, I heard one analyst saying that those late night shows could actually not survive this strike. There's a possibility that viewing habits may change if the strike is prolonged, and those shows may disappear.
That's very correct. I mean, if you don't have writers, if you don't have programming people, they still want entertainment. And so then they start looking into various other outlets of entertainment. Of course, like we saw with the pandemic, people always usually come back, or entertainment industry evolves. But it still comes back to being the same. And this is just my personal opinion, Dominique. It's just like when you're having an argument with your spouse or, your partner, that at some point you've got to come to some type of resolution. So let's just come to some type of resolution. The AMPTP present the writers and, our brothers and sisters at SAG with a fantastic deal, give us what we're asking for, and, let's move forward. Get back to work.
All right. I think that is the best case scenario. Let's have an unexpected resolution and get back to work, just like we saw with SEIU, right? Local 99. The mayor stepped in. She was able to make that deal happen. The teachers made their deal, and instead of a prolonged strike and further disruption coming out of COVID, we actually saw a swift and pretty positive resolution. I would love to see that outcome here. Some are saying that these tech companies, as you point out that they are, along with entertainment giants, are hoping they can break these unions and make the unions go away. That, to me, is the worst case scenario. How likely do you think that is?
I can't, prophesize, that
right.
Unfortunately, Dominique, but hopefully that is not the reality of what's going through their heads. I just really pray that that's not what's going through their heads. And I know that our industry, even though it's entertainment, it can be a callous one. But I think that they will find out through our efforts that writers and actors are definitely important components to the process.
Yeah, I just think that it would. I'm sure there are some that would like to break the union. I don't see it happening, though. I think we're in a very pro labor period in our country as far as the regular people, not the multi-billionaires and millionaires, but the regular consumers of entertainment. And I also think, people are talking about, oh, this is a great boon for TikTok. We'll all just go watch TikTok. And yeah, maybe you'll consume more TikTok for a while, but TikTok ain't making no, secession. TikTok is not making Abbott Elementary. You know what I mean?
That's
the
right.
quality programs that we are used to, that we wait for, they're not on TikTok. What you get there, you get some good entertainment, some funny opinions and interesting takes. To me, that is not a replacement for my entertainment, my shows that I wait for and that we all wait for. It's not a replacement for House of the Dragons or any of those things. It's just not.
That's right, Dominique. I mean, entertainment also provides us with an escape. I can watch people cut a fool walking down the street. But if I want to fantasize or dream about the lives of other real people or fantastic people, I'm able to do that through film and television.
And reality TV would have long ago taken over because most of those folks, my understanding, most of those folks are not unionized or they're working in bare minimum conditions because it's supposed to be reality, even though it's not real. And it hasn't. I mean, people love reality TV, but we still want to see our scripted shows. We still want to see our high-quality programming that we look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is your advice for the conscious consumer at this point?
Well, I mean, realistically, no one's asking anyone to stop watching their streaming services. I mean, and if people are saying that they're doing that, I mean, I think that's fantastic. What you can do is that you can write letters to the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. You can also, when you see people on the strike lines, because if you're in LA, all over the city, honk your horn. Bring some bottled water. Also, there are ways that you can donate to both SAG and AFTRA to help these writers, and then also the help me out, Dominique, the entertainment fund.
Oh yeah.
The entertainment community fund.
Right, to help folks survive when they don't get a check. Yeah.
That's right. That's how writers and actors are surviving. Now without getting a check, as Dominique just said, it's through the Entertainment Community Fund. So donating, there, and just continue to show your support.
Do you think it's more effective to write to the AMTP or should we be writing to the Universal and the NBC Universals and the Netflixes of the world as well?
Absolutely, and they're all under the banner of the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. They're all under that banner. So
they're all getting that feedback if you just write to the one. Now, to me, I don't know if we're at that point yet, but if they were to break the union or if this drags on much longer, I definitely would be willing to step away from my streaming services and just cancel.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to support you if you're crushing the very people that I tune into you for. That to me is the stunning part of this, Keith, is how, and I think Fran Drescher, the SAG president, said it in her speech, how little regard, reverence, love, affection there is shown so far. I guess this could change. To the writers and actors that make the content that you have profited by, that has made you so wealthy. It's like don't you have any love for the artistry? Do you even like movies and TV shows, or is it just a corporate model at this point?
I think they've shown that it's for them. It's just a corporate model, but they're going to learn.
Yeah. So you're a writer yourself, Keith.
Yes.
Write the happy ending for me here.
The happy ending is that, again, that the AMPTP, that they come to the WGA and our sister union, SAG, with a deal that's acceptable. We just want a living wage. I mean, most writers are not even making a living wage. Most SAG actors are not making a living wage. We're talking about less than all of the big celebrities that you see. They make up 3% of the entire union. So it's hard out here. And so we just want at least a living wage and benefits and to be paid fairly.
Yeah. And we just have a minute here, Keith. Real quick, just talk about AI. AI, artificial intelligence, is basically for the Writers Guild, where you can basically input into a computer program the basic idea for a story, and then you can have one writer maybe come in and clean it up. But what that lacks there is the human element and the human experience. And so we're just trying to make sure on both sides, on the SAG side and replacing their images or using their images, continuously throughout projects without pay, that's not done. That you consider the human element in the equation of the creation of film and television programming. Yeah, I think it's an existential threat. You can copy my voice. Now you're taking the essence of my humanity and profiting off of it without me participating. To me, that's very demonic. Keith Underwood, thank you so much for joining this morning. Everybody, listen to Keith's show, Black in the Greenroom, Saturday nights at 9. Appreciate you.
Yes, and please tune in this Saturday, July 22nd at 9 p.m. We'll be doing a deep dive into the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strike with Hilliard Guest and also actor Johnny Ray Gill. This Saturday, 9 p.m., KBLA Talk 1580.
Appreciate you. Time for news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Hoover, Alabama, cops reveal new details about the African-American woman who went missing after seeing a toddler walking alone on an Alabama highway, then reappeared unharmed 2 days later.
We'll figure it out. I promise you that. We'll end up figuring it out.
Cops say Russell told them a man jumped out of a tree and abducted her when she went to check on the child. Air quality is slowly improving for millions as smoke from Canadian wildfires start to thin. Despite the improvements, air quality alerts are still in place in over a dozen states in the Northeast from New Hampshire to Wyoming. This week, 4 states reported new wildfires, bringing the nationwide total to roughly 24 as a heat wave slams the southern U.S. dry areas of Arizona, New Mexico, and California. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
More health issues for first-year Colorado football coach Deion Sanders. Deion will have surgery this morning to remove blood clots in his right leg. He will miss the Pac-12 Conference Media Day Friday in Las Vegas. Deion had surgery on June 22nd to remove blood clots in his left leg. Deion posted on Instagram yesterday that he will be ready to coach his new team when preseason camp starts next month. The New York Jets are the first NFL team to open training camp. They hit the field yesterday in Florham Park, New Jersey. The Chargers and Rams open up camp on Tuesday. Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias did not have a good day in Baltimore yesterday. Urias gave up a career-high 8 runs in 5 innings. Before the game, LSU women's basketball star Angel Reese, a Baltimore native, threw out the first pitch. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead Community Development and National Partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership, it's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community, and it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Maisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
You're ready to level up to your next home or your first home. But maybe you still have some questions. Come check out Rocket. We're ready to help. Start with a Rocket Mortgage home buying plan and get Rocket rewards along the way for cash toward closing. You got this, and Rocket's got you. Only with Rocket. Visit RocketBuyingPlan.com to get started today.
Call 866-357-5727 for conditions and restrictions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
What are you doing with your one and only life? How are you feeling in that body you don't like? That body you don't like? What are you doing every time you take a breath? Saying those ugly words to yourself until there's no joy left. naked and alone.
KBLA Talk 1580. It is a pleasure to welcome into the space today Professor of African Diaspora Studies at the University of Texas at Austin, author of 3 books, an author of that song that you're hearing right now. Her scholarship focuses on issues of identity, representation, and performance in contemporary African American culture. Lisa B. Thompson, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I can't believe you started off with our song. I'm blushing.
Yay! That's a good way to start. We're also being joined by a pianist, composer, author, and he is a professor and a working musician. Something folks say is not even possible. He's a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, a music historian, University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Guthrie Ramsey, good morning.
Good morning, sister-in-law. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you doing? Yes, indeed.
I'm doing so
Are
well.
you blushing?
Yeah, I'm blushing too. Of course, every time I'm on the radio with you, I've been, I peek in on the show, and I just did this week, and I just can't believe that, that I'm on with you.
Well, you guys are both defying that idea. We actually talked about, I think, earlier this week that working musicians cannot teach and teachers cannot play. Right? You're both working as artists. Lisa, talk to me about the song, which is you say inspired by the Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body, and where we're going with that project.
Oh, yes. I'm happy to talk about this. This is the first time I've ever composed with someone or created music. This song, What Are You Doing, is really a question to Black women about the kinds of internal dialogue we have about our bodies, which is that internal dialogue, of course, comes sometimes from the external world and things, the images that we are faced with and the words that we hear about ourselves. And it's really about us reclaiming our power. And it's part of the piece that I'm doing that opens in Austin in April 2024 as part of Fusebox Festival's 20th anniversary. And we'll be doing it at the Vortex, the Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body, which is a choral poem, kind of a moment to honor the great work for colored girls by Shange, and a way to kind of bring that into this current moment.
A choreo poem. I did one of those in college, and some folks don't know what they are, but it's like music, poetry, dance, and all the things to express. It's like a theatrical performance based on a poem, I guess.
Yes, and I've been working on this for a minute, and I realized that I need to step outside my usual work as a conventional playwright to honor this dream. And so I came to my homeboy and said, I have some songs I've been making that really sound bad because I can't sing, but I'm sending them to you. I trust Guthrie Ramsey's as intellectual and as also as an artist. And what he gave me back brought me to tears, actually, the song that you shared with the listeners.
So talk to me. You're the homeboy, Dr. Ramsey. Talk to me about how that creative process hit for you.
Well, I love Lisa's plays. I've read them all. And she has a miraculous way with words, and then plus there's this kind of intellectual thrust and heft behind the words, so they're never empty. They're always full of substance, and they're always very provocative. So when she approached, we've been trying to collaborate for many years because we've known each other in the field as artist scholars. And when she came to me with this project and said, "Hey, let's get together and do the music together," and she sent me, a couple of ideas, and then I got with my creative partners over here in Philadelphia, namely Wavy Wilson, my longtime collaborator. And we just started going back and forth, and before you know it, we had 2 songs that we have released just as a teaser for the production. We're not sure if they will appear in the choreo poem in this version, but we just kind of got together to get the creative juices flowing by creating together.
Yeah, I love that. It's like start with the music and then work your way into what the piece is actually going to be, and give us some music to get us ready for the project. It's a very artist scholar way of going about things, is it not, Lisa?
Absolutely. And the thing is, for me, all my plays actually, I include a playlist so that in the room with the actors, whether I'm there or not, they get the sense of the tone of the piece I have. And then for this piece, it was not just me here's a playlist with Spotify, but actually creating original music, which was wild. But it really is the heart of my work. And the only person who really recognized that in me was Guthrie, who said, "You know what? You put playlists and all your." I'm like, "Yeah, I actually do that because I really respect all of the arts. I love visual art, music, dance, and just really blessed to be able to be in community with so many amazing people."
I'm laughing because you found a way to get the playwright into the theater, even if you're not there in person. My mom had a theater called the Poets Theater, and she said she would bar any of the writers from coming in and trying to, talk to the director or the actors. You found a way to get into the theater through your playlists without actually being present. That's pretty good.
Don't tell. That's great. But it's really, I have such respect. What I love about theater is I just got this part. What did you bring into it? And I like watching folks bring their piece, and I never get in the way. I'm like, go ahead, go. Let me see this. I love it. Though.
We're talking with Lisa B. Thompson and, of course, Dr. Guthrie Ramsey. And I want to find out, about this piece. We'll hear a little bit more of the music and just your body of work also. Well, both of you have these incredible bodies of work. We could have a 5-hour show just playing your music and listening to excerpts from the writings. We'll do what we can with what we got. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
This is for my sisters. This is for my queens. This is for all my black beauties who must survive all the things, who must survive even their bad dreams, who must survive even in the rain. A body can be a temple. It can be a prison too. It's not one thing, no, it's not that simple. So living is a puzzle that we must do. I'm not here with the answers, just trying to read the map I own, seeing the maze and trying not to cry, and remember I'm not alone.
KBLA Talk 1580. Being joined this morning by Dr. Guthrie P. Ramsey Jr., music historian, pianist, composer, producer, label head, and leader of a band. We're also being joined by playwright and professor of African and African Diaspora Studies at University of Texas at Austin, Lisa B. Thompson. Boy, we really getting us ready for this this choreo poem. I see these songs. You know, I'm definitely ready to see the show, and it's not till April, right? Right, Lisa?
That's actually, we're going to do a little sneak preview in Austin after a workshop we're going to do. It's going to be actually the evening of August 12th here at the Vortex. So I'm giving people a little taste so they can get ready for April.
Okay, so if you're in Texas, you know, you might be able to get that early taste of the work. But, you know, this is, I mean, it really is an outspoken, the songs are outspoken, right? The work is outspoken. And we've been talking a lot, I feel like this week in particular, about the intersection of, art and politics, of activism and musicianship or as a playwright as well. Talk to me about that and how it drives you, or how it, drives the work.
Well, I think this part of it is the core of being an artist scholar, is that people want you to pick. And Dr. Ramsey and I had the audacity to say no, because we know the politics of both the treatment of our people when it comes to the academy as well as in the arts has been shameful, and that we deserve to be in all the spaces we want to occupy. And I believe that the politics of art is about our humanity completely, right? And us expressing what it means to be human, and for us as African Americans, is even more power, because we're the only people that's ever been illegal to be literate. So the idea of us creating is even more bold, right? The only people on the soil ever for fear of death. So it's about defiance and about love of my people and my community, and being able to share that. And this particular piece comes out of me realizing how many Black feminists who I studied when I was a grad student died very early. And what does it mean for us to change the world while dying? It's really heartbreaking. So that's a piece that I've shared with several Black women, scholars and artists, and it always brings them to tears to hear the litany of names and the ages that they were when they passed away.
Dr. Ramsey, kind of the same question. I mean, you live there not just in terms of your musicianship, and not just in terms of your teaching, but also as an author. Your latest book, Who Hears Here, we talked about that on the show. But race music, Black cultures from bebop to hip hop. Talk to me about that in all of these arenas for you.
Well, I have to say that my training in an orientation into the field of Black music studies really grows out of my first encounter with the famous / infamous book Blues People by Leroy Jones, a.k.a. Amiri Baraka. So if that's your orientation into the field, I never considered separating the politics from the art. I never thought that was a thing. I had to go to graduate school to understand that that the separation was even a thing. I had to learn about that. So, in other words, that orientation, particularly me growing up in the traditions that I study. The music was always about being a reflection or information for our lived experiences. So I never separate those two out.
And talk to me about the choreo poem piece, Dr. Ramsey. It's like it's kind of a unique artistic expression. What are you looking to do with this latest piece?
Well, I think I'm following my colleague's lead here. Is that I think one of the most important things is that we don't want to create a hierarchy of the arts within this piece, that the words are more important than whatever song is heard, or that the dance is less important than whatever music is, not subordinate to the music, but that all of the expressions come out in a kind of equal way in the piece, and that the piece is basically an excuse to show people the beauty of the African American experience and the arts and how they can work together. I don't know if Lisa has another idea about that, but that's my way of thinking about it.
Well, do you have another idea about that?
He's so brilliant. I've been a fan of this man for forever. And I'm just so happy to be working together. For me, that's the biggest thing. People always say to me, "Oh my God, how do you know these people?" Or "How do you?" Wow, I didn't know. I'm like, it was basically people that I've met that I like when I have fun making work with. And out of that has been some beautiful, beautiful things over the years. And this is another iteration of it. And that's even asked me to be more vulnerable and open up to, to work with a choreographer, his bad sister, Sade Jones, is a movement director, and she's also in the piece. And of course, inviting Guthrie Ramsey to come play with this wild idea of mine.
And what is the wild idea?
That we can tell the story of a singular Black woman who is aging, and we can talk about what it's like to age in a Black woman's body in this country. And it to invite into all these, the well thing too is also the folks that are involved. We have a Latinx queer director. We have folks from from all parts of the country, all kinds of different kinds of faiths. And but at the core is about a Black woman's story, and that everybody's in the service to that. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, your play "Single Black Female" made a lot of waves and a lot of waves and a lot of conversations. You wrote Beyond the Black Lady's Sexuality in the New African American Middle Class. Obviously, the Mamalogues, 3 plays. Centering Black women is one of the things that you definitely do, right?
Yes. I'm really, really proud of this body of work. I can't believe it. The other day I did the math and realized that Single Black Female opened next year, it'll be 25 years. It's actually opening this weekend in Arizona. Arizona is having another show, and I get these Google alerts, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's still relevant to people 25 years later. It's really, really a blessing to me and a joy. But yes, I do center Black women because I didn't see that as the way I wanted to see it. So yes, we see Black women in the center of many things, but I'm like, I want the comedy to be there. I want the funny to be part of it, but also I was fascinated by the Black middle class because I was not middle class, and this and how Black middle class women kind of figure into Black life as a group. And it's been really interesting to watch that develop over the years too. But yeah, Single Black Female was first to kind of play with some of these things.
Wow.
The envelope, I think.
Well, the clock is kicking us out, but Dr. Guthrie P. Ramsey and Professor Lisa Thompson, man, thank you so much for sharing, and we shall follow you. I assume we're going to get updates about the choreo poem, The Black Feminist Guide to the Human Body, coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah, please follow us on Musicology Media Group.
One more time?
Yeah.
Please follow us on Musicology Media Group on Instagram, and Lisa B. Thompson on what?
Okay, well we're passing.
My handle.
Go ahead.
Moment, okay, we'll find us on Instagram, Dr. Lisa B. Thompson, and I'm looking forward to being in conversation. I just followed you on Instagram.
Got to leave it there. Tavis Smiley's next. KBLA Talk 1580.
80 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.